How about tires? Have you guys seen an increase on tires?
We just got notification that tires will be going up. So yes, parts are increasing, parts for repairs have increased throughout the year. And and the availability is um, difficult.
So what we're seeing on our side, because you guys are on the private fleet side, right? We're the for hire, the over the road, anywhere in the country type of provider, okay? And sometimes more than that, sometimes Canada and other areas. But what we are seeing is two different pictures there from a cost perspective. When you have a piece of equipment go down, you're not able to get in as quick to the shop and get somebody on it like we were historically, because I think they're struggling from a labor perspective. Then when we figure out what it is that we actually need to fix the equipment, no one has the part in stock. So then there's another delay to when you can actually get the part there, no matter what it costs, right?
Yes.
So
Yes. You know, these are scenarios that play out here every day. And, with a fleet the size of ours, obviously we're a massive consumer of parts, fuel commodity, trucks, trailers, tankers, food grade tankers. It goes on and on. And if we stuck to the tractor side of the fleet, the way that we buy our tractors is a lease, an off-capital lease that we have a working relationship with the Volvo factory, and we try to keep all of our trucks in warranty. So I'm going to open up this conversation a little bit about some of the stuff that Gene deals with on a day-to-day in our Sandpoint facility. We have a PM or maintenance shop with one mechanic in it, and we also have the dealer rep for Volvo that comes to our facility to do warranty work. So, Gene, if you'd like to expand a little bit more on how that works inside your truck shop, that would be great.
Yeah, the dealer is like 80 miles away. That's our closest dealer. And as long as we give them some kind of notice, they're here, hopefully not every weekend doing warranty work, but on a scheduled 2-3 weeks at a time. But what you were talking about with parts and availability and getting stuff repaired, you are absolutely correct. We find ourselves actually looking for parts now where we used to just let the dealer do it. Now we actually go looking for parts ourselves, and we'll get a taxi ride, air freight, whatever, because you don't make any money when the truck is down.
no, I think that's the scenario that we're seeing now. For us on the broker side, for example, where we don't actually own one piece of equipment, right? But your freight has to be delivered on time. Slate will tell you we do that. The biggest struggle we have is where you would normally have a breakdown that you would be up and running in 6-8 hours, 10 hours, worst case scenario. So many of those scenarios happen. The majority of them are automatically repower. Repower the trailer, put another truck and another carrier under it and drop it or hook it or swing it. Or if the trailer's down, then you got to have it. You got to chain it up and get it to where a food grade location and have it swung and break seals and communicate and document everything, because we just can't get the trucks fixed in a timely manner on the road.
Sure. And that of course drives the rental truck market. We've been faced with that before too. When we're out on the road and you have a critical breakdown that sidelines the vehicle for a day or two, the first thing that we default to is our rental vendors, because at the end of the day, customers don't really understand why you're not there, or at least that's what they want you to believe. And from a customer service perspective, even though we have challenges with breakdowns, we still have to deliver. We still have to try to maintain schedule. And sometimes it takes a rental, or it takes, like Gene said, searching for parts. It's very, very common that we will pick up parts in any particular city that another driver of ours might be in, just to get the parts out to a shop that the truck is located at.
That's the only way to be successful in navigating the market, because I don't think you can just leave equipment sit everywhere while you try. You can't get more. How are the rental scenarios working for you guys?
They're hard to come by if you can even find one.
That's what I was going to say. It's great having a rental agreement, and up until the past 2 years, it was pretty handy at times. Now, there's not the rentals haven't been readily available. How about from a truck perspective? How many units are you guys total running?
Yeah, about 45.
So, how often do you turn those tractors in the fleet?
We run them 4 years and then turn them in.
4 to
They're gonna
5, somewhere in
be-
there.
Yeah, they're going to be around 450,000 miles on them, hopefully. That's what we shoot for. Because after that, they just become unreliable.
I would agree with that.
Well, and then inside of that 4-year, 400,000 mile mark, which might seem a little bit low for total miles on a truck in a private fleet that's focuses on its LTL distribution, I think that we're probably on the high side of the mileage end. As far as the optimum value of the truck in a resale market is our target. So in working with our truck provider, that's what we want to be able to give back to them at a high quality piece that they can put back on the market into the used capacity pool.
Right. I think if it's under 5 years and under 500,000 miles, then the value is up a decent amount compared to 600 or 650,000 mile equipment. There's a big step there, right?
Yes.
For sure, yes.
So you get out of it. Are you having trouble getting the tractors, the power units?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's another issue. Everybody's behind. The trailer market's behind, the truck market's behind. We've reached the end of our leases and we're waiting on the new trucks to arrive.
So your provider just tells you hang on to the equipment until the end of till we get the new, right?
Well, in comes Zale with restructuring the lease to build a bridge between the expected delivery of the new truck, the truck vendor, Volvo, and just keep going uninterrupted. We don't have to park them. We just keep running them.
So you didn't have to do any of that previously up until
No,
the past year or two. Normally they cycled out, no problems.
correct. We spec our own trucks with the assistance from the factory. The larger group are all identical, the same with our trailers. And when Gene said that trailers are hard to get, we've been a lot more successful on the power unit side than we have been on the trailer side, because the factory production is still down almost 50%. So we've seen extensive delays of over a year on refrigerated trailers.
I think that what we're seeing currently on our side on the refrigerated trailers is about a 9-month turn.
Well, I could have been more specific and should have been, these are multi-temps and 3 axles. Our
Okay.
stock 2-axle setups, John, are much less. They're still
Right.
a weight, but it is much less.
Well, and when you're running up there on what states? Washington, Idaho, Montana, and you're allowed what, 80,000?
Our heavy hauls run like a 103.
Over 103,000 pounds.
So a 4-axle tractor, a 3-axle trailer, we're at like 58,000 pounds of product in the box. In our tanker fleet, 4-axle tractor, 8,600 gallon food grade tanker, 103.
Wow. Tanker equipment's another issue. That's even tighter than refrigerated.
Yeah, if it weren't for a 25-year relationship that we have with the manufacturer Westmark, which builds an excellent product. We only have Westmark trailers in our fleet. They supply us with our 4-axle setups and our 2-axle setups. And they were really, really good on delivery of the last 6 units that we had. We had some running gear. So the Tridem on the 8,600 gallon tanker, we actually had to go outside of their network, Gene worked a deal with a vendor provider that we have out of Washington, and actually picked up a 3-axle setup and sent it to the factory so it could be installed. These guys work with us. They're, privately owned family operation that do a phenomenal job and kept our tanker rotation in place.
Wow, that's amazing. I don't know.
It really is. Lighthouse, we enjoy some long-term relationships from vendors across the organization, from plastics that we might need, glass that we might need, et cetera, all the way down into trucking, into the trucking components of trucks, trailers, and the tankers.
Well, I think that's what makes the difference, right? When you have relationship-based vendors, they're going to go the extra mile.
With consistent buying and rotation purchases, replenishment plans, they know what you're going to need. And then, of course, having the financial acuity is to keep everything in place as planned, as Dale has it. We budget from year to year for the things that we need. So we have that responsibility to the organization to, really be financially accurate and, dependable. We try our hardest to stay inside of budget, and we watch the markets closer when we meet regularly with our vendors.
And I think what we're all looking for is where's the floor moving forward, right? There's no excess equipment laying all over the place. The driver pools is definitely not at capacity. Fuel's astronomical, and everything else. Tires are looking at probably a 30% increase in the past 2 years. So when you start looking at all these numbers, we're not going to go back. We don't see the ability to go back to where we were.
We never really, get a lot of calls that say, "Hey, we're going to start charging you less for tires." But and with our pallet suppliers, I almost fell out of my chair a couple of months ago, and they said, "Hey, we're going to drop your price on pallets," because pallets were a huge deal. They were getting out to like $25 a pallet because there was such a shortage a year ago.
Right.
And we have one of our again a long-term supplier for us. Out of the blue calls and said, "Hey, I'm going to drop your cost." I think it was like $10 a pallet, and I was like floored.
One thing Jeff didn't mention, that since he's come along, he has cut our deadhead miles down below the industry standard by significant amount.
Yeah, so that's a great number to brag on. I think we're at a year-to-date, I know Zale knows, year-to-date percentage deadhead miles.
Okay, you're under 10.
Yep.
I think that's
for private fleets, that's phenomenal.
Well, I think it's phenomenal for everyone. If you can stay under 10, what we notice is as it slows down, that's usually when the economy slows down and maybe the options aren't so plentiful like we've had for the past couple of years.
The last couple weeks, I'm pretty proactive as far as, staying ahead of when I know our trucks are going to be out in a certain area. I'm looking for loads way ahead of time. And you better be proactive, and you better take what you can find. But the last couple weeks, probably the last 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes right now you can't even find a load to get back to your region.
But when there's 30 loads for every truck or 50 loads for every truck in a lot of markets, your deadhead picture is going to be really good.
Yeah.
Because, hey, I'm going to take this one. This one's 8 miles away. This one's 26. That helps a bunch.
Yeah.
But Sandpoint is not a metropolis.
No.
I mean, there's not a ton of truckload business going into Sandpoint. So I'm going to assume the majority, ideal for you, is probably Spokane area.
Spokane, Post Falls area, yes.
Yeah. So let us know if there's any areas where you're going into where you need our help too.
You bet. I appreciate that.
No, absolutely. You guys are a good partner. Well, thank you all for participating today. We love Lighthouse. We like the products, especially the people. Even you, Slate.
Likewise.
The nicest thing anybody said to me all day.
Hey, you guys, thanks for being on Stay in Your Lane. Have a great day and appreciate
John,
the time.
thank you very much.